Thank you for watching our online interview series, Talk with Market Leaders 2. In this episode, we have the management from two leading companies to share on the latest market outlook and the industry trends. First, let's talk with Mr. Rob Benton, INEOS Styrolution's President, Asia Pacific. It's been 2 years since the coronavirus outbreak. Looking back on 2021, did the supply chain and the markets in Asia Pacific fully recover from the pandemic?
Well, that is really differentiated per country as well as industry. When you look to China, for example, it was a very strong year 2021. Although other countries like Malaysia and Thailand still have been suffering from the second wave of COVID and for that reason muted demand in some time. With all the challenges that we had, the year 2021 was a good year for Styrolution with strong revenue as well as profitability.
In that case, which application sectors had notable growth when compared to the previous year? What were the driving forces?
Household, especially in Asia and China, has been doing extremely well. Next to the strong, domestic demand of household equipment, also the more than usual strong export to the Western world has been driving the demand in this segment. For sure, the inability of some Western producers to produce locally, as well also the stronger demand for household goods because people have been more eating at home has been a huge driver for household goods.
Then, are you optimistic that the household segment can continue to grow in 2022? How about other industries?
The household segment will still be a growth driver also in the coming years. For sure, the high export that we have seen driven by some COVID impacts will disappear. But when you look to the penetration rate of many household goods in Asia, it's still on a significantly lower, level compared to the Western countries. And for that reason, that growth will continue in Asia as well. When you look to other industries, like for example, the automotive industry, we have seen, for example, in China last year, 2021, the first growth year after 3 years, since 2017. So we are not still at the, peak level that we have seen in 2017. On top of that, we all have been facing and reading about the limitations in semiconductors, which also means that there has been a lack of production in the year 2021. And all those facts will also give us a good, confidence that there will be a significant growth in the automotive industry in the year 2022.
Talking about sustainability, the plastics industry is moving towards a circular economy. I know INEOS Styrolution has also introduced mechanically recycled PS and ABS. Are these solutions gaining more applications?
Yes, for sure. I think with the overall momentum that we have now by carbon neutrality and for that reason also circular economy, I think with the cooperation that we have set up with GER and Samsung Resin, we are able to supply mechanically recycled ABS to all the countries in Asia Pacific. And as we have proven to bring that back to prime quality, many brand owners are really now willing to specify this material into their typical applications.
I see. Carbon neutrality is another focus in the plastics industry. In particular, China plans to be carbon neutral by 2060. As the country is one of the biggest markets in the world, what are the challenges and opportunities to the industry?
Well, I prefer to talk about all the opportunities. And when you look, to the plastics and ceramics and generally, I think in the use phase, ceramics already have been proven to be, very important to come to a circular economy and carbon neutrality. If it's now lightweight to be used in the automotive industry, or for example, the insulation value that ceramics can offer. And on top of that, we still are, discussing with some brand owners in China to even set up closed loop systems. Because the biggest challenge that we still see is getting access to waste. Because in Asia, there are not that many established waste collection systems that we might need to have for a full circular economy.
Are there any other trends influencing the development of styrenics? What are the innovations and new technologies?
with all the advancement and innovation that you see in the technologies to come to better quality of recycled grades, that will for sure also benefit, let's say, the innovation. Worthwhile to mention here is as well that together with Styrenic Circle Solutions, we have proven now that with mechanical recycling of polystyrene, we have the ability to bring mechanically recycled polystyrene back that will also fulfill all the requirements that you need to have for food applications. And of course, this is a huge step forward for, let's say, establishing mechanically recycled products into the market.
Well, that sounds there are many reasons for optimism in 2022. Mr. Bunting, thank you very much again for your sharing. Next, let's talk with the two presidents from Avian, Mr. Sei-Ing Lee, the Vice President and General Manager of Color and Additive Asia, and Mr. Walter Whipple, Vice President, Sustainability. Mr. Lee and Mr. Whipple, thank you for joining us. Mr. Lee, how would you describe the Asia-Pacific market in 2021?
2021 actually has been one of the most challenging year we have experienced due to navigating the COVID pandemic and supply chain disruption. And one of the most significant impact in terms of supply chain was the logistics side. Not only because of the pandemic, but also from Evergreen issue. I think everyone know about that. We heard about the news that the Evergreen container was stuck at the Suez Canal in March 2021. So there is still a lot of uncertainty for the whole global logistics, and logistic price has been increased. And looking ahead in 2022, the market demand continues to be strong.
What are the industry sectors in which Avian will see business growth in 2022 for the Chinese and Asia-Pacific markets?
Referring to the industry sector, I think in 2022, we're still seeing increased customer demand from Asia, and China especially continue to be robust across all end market and regions. So as the world now seeks the next generation of sustainable solution, the role of our material science play in sustainability for the world is more important than ever. So per our latest 2020 sustainability report, we expected our sustainable solution to grow 8 to 12% per annum as a consumer demand for more eco-conscious material. So from the industry standpoint, we see that the interest and activity of our sustainable solution in packaging, especially for personal care, has never been higher. So the appeal for food and beverage market is also high for those countries outside of China with FDA compliances requirement. So meanwhile, I think fiber consumer and automotive are also experiencing growth in sustainable solution. The needs are not just for PCR, but also on bio-based and biodegradable solution.
How can the company grasp these opportunities?
Actually, I think we look into two factors. On those two parts, I think external driving actually mainly from China government committed to achieving net zero carbon emission before 2060. So there is a lot of government guidance and support to be boost the target of carbon neutral. So most large consumer packaged goods, CPG, company has committed to increasing recycle as well content up to 100%. For internal driving force, I think Avian has formulated unique material that are helping this company meet those ambitious sustainability targets.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Regarding sustainability, Mr. Whipple, what are your observations about the progress of circular economy for plastics?
Now, I really think that the world is making progress to shift to a more circular economy. And we have a lot of work to do, but governments are beginning to work together to drive policy. Companies are developing new technologies like some of those from Avian, or even chemical recycling technologies, all with the goal of enabling more PCR usage. Even though we do have a long way to go, we really are making substantial progress.
Great, I'm glad to hear that. Avian has launched different solutions with PCR contents to advance the circular economy. Are there any innovations to enable the use of more recycled content?
Sure. Well, first of all, most brand owners have made very aggressive commitments to increase recyclability or the recycled content in their products. But adding more recycled content presents significant challenges for them, like color, odor, processability, and various performance characteristics, to name a few. So that's where, innovative additive and master batch solutions from Avian can help our customers to achieve their recycling goals. We've developed master batches that can mask that dirty color that's associated with adding more PCR, or scavengers that can help to alleviate taste and odor issues, or even processing aids that can help to improve cycle times by as much as 25%.
Mr. Ripple and Mr. Lee, thank you again. With the goals of carbon neutrality and circular economy, as well as the strong demands in many industries, I think 2022 should be another positive year for the plastics industry. Our next episode will talk about other topics. Please stay tuned.